Sayla can't be with us, so I'm going to chair the meeting. So let's call the meeting to order. Dawn, you want to do your thing?
Of course. Jerry Abrahams?
Here.
Cindy Butts?
Here.
Commissioner Dawn?
Here.
Wendy Clark?
Here.
Phil DeFronzo?
Here.
Heidi DeWeingart?
Here.
Undersecretary Gualtieri? Tim Hodges?
Here.
Catherine McKinnon?
Here.
Commissioner Mascara Bruno? Commissioner Perez? Franklin Perry? Sarah Sanders?
Here.
Lisa Tepper Bates? Greg Ugalde?
Here.
We do have a quorum in attendance for this meeting.
Great.
Hi,
thank
this
you.
is Kylie Goslin. I'm also here.
Hi, Kylie.
Morning, this is Claudio Gualtieri. I'm sorry, I think I missed part of the roll call. I'm here today.
Welcome. Okay, next up, our public comment, open for public comments. Dawn?
Of course. This is the only opportunity on the agenda for the public to provide comments. If you would like to provide a comment, please unmute yourself and state your name. To ensure that everyone has the opportunity, comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Hearing no comments, the public comment period has now ended. Heidi, back to you.
Thank you. Okay, next is the CEO's Executive Director report. Unfortunately, Nandini is under the weather, so Hazim is going to step in and report. Hazim?
Yeah, good morning, Madam Chair and members of the board. So as Heidi indicated, the first item on the agenda is the CEO Executive Director's report for your perusal. It talks about a recent event that CHFA attended, the success of the Time to Own program, and its recently published 2022 Year in Review Housing blog. I'll be happy to take any comments if there are any.
Okay, anything else on this, the CEO report? Nope. Okay, hearing no comments, let's move on to the Finance Audit Committee agenda, and Hazim's going to present that as well.
Thank you. For your consideration is a resolution to authorize CHFA to borrow directly from the Federal Home Loan Bank of Boston to help fund program loans. CHFA currently uses its balance sheet, such as from the ITA, to fund program loans, specifically the multifamily 9% low-income housing tax credits. Due to an increase in demand for its product from the development community, the need to fund more taxable permanent-only loans, and the rising rate environment, CHFA began researching last year for another viable financing vehicle. FHLB is a government-sponsored enterprise, or GSE, and it was created to provide liquidity to certain financial institutions to support housing finance and community investment. Being a GSE, it can offer very competitive and generally below market lending rate. Since CHFA is a non-bank member of FHLB, it is permitted to borrow from the bank. According to CHFA's research, it is currently more advantageous to pursue a direct borrowing with FHLB than issuing a new taxable bond. The request, if approved, will allow CHFA to borrow up to $100 million in aggregate and for a period of 3 years. The resolution was presented to Finance Committee, and the committee asked questions regarding the nature and purpose of the borrowing, the duration, the difference between tax-exempt financing versus taxable, the difference between the borrowing and the new indenture approved by the board the prior year, whether the borrowing was backed by the SCOF or the state, the bifurcation between the bank borrowing and ITA and the applicable split, prepayment and call option, rate of return, and whether CHFA is the leader in the space compared to other HFAs. There was also a question whether CHFA could offer other FHLB products since CHFA is a non-bank member, I should say. The resolution was approved unanimously by committee, and I'll be happy to answer any question the board may have at this time.
Hazine, one quick question. What's the term? You've got the rate comparison, which is really helpful, but how long is the 471?
Oh,
Fixed?
it's also 20 years. Yes.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yes.
Anybody else? Any other questions, comments, concerns? Sounds like you had a good discussion. Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thanks, Wendy.
Second.
Okay, who is that?
Second, it's Greg. Heidi.
Greg. Okay, should have realized that. Okay, Dawn, could you call the roll, please?
Jerry Abrahams,
Aye.
Cindy Butts,
Aye.
Commissioner Dom,
Aye.
Wendy Clark,
Yes.
Phil DeFranco,
Yes.
Heidi DeWeingart,
Aye.
Undersecretary Gualtieri.
Can I abstain as this is my first meeting and I haven't had a chance to fully dig in?
Of course.
Thank you.
Tim Hodges,
Aye.
Catherine McKinnon,
Aye.
Commissioner Perez, Franklin Perry, Sarah Sanders,
Aye.
Lisa Tupper Bates,
Aye.
Greg Agalde.
Aye.
The vote passes with one abstention.
This is Kylie. I vote yes also. Thanks.
Sorry.
Kylie,
Okay.
I apologize. I had thought that your resignation was effective already, and so we'll
No
clear that
worries.
up.
I think it's effective March 2nd, which is my last day at PSC. So this is officially my last meeting.
Okay, thank
That's
you.
okay.
Well, we're going to miss you. Okay, next on the agenda is the resolution from the Mortgage Committee for Capital Magnet Fund Program, and to be presented by Pat.
Yes, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
On Tuesday, Terry Nass, Giovanucci presented a recommendation to the Mortgage Committee to approve CHFA's application for 2023 Capital Magnet Funds grant in an amount of up to $6 million, and then to further approve an allocation of available CHFA funds to match that amount of up to $6 million. These funds are used in conjunction with our LHTC projects, both 9% and 4%. They can be used for development, rehabilitation, preservation, and or purchase of affordable housing, which is targeted to low, very low, and extremely low in families. Just as a reminder, CHFA was awarded $3 million in the 2020 grant round, which was matched by $3 million. It was $3 million, and it was matched by $3 million in CHFA funds. Those amounts will be fully allocated prior to the deadline, which is in April of this year. The recommendation was approved unanimously by the committee. Does anybody have any questions?
Okay, hearing no questions, comments, concerns, can we have a motion to approve?
So moved. Cindy.
Thanks, Cindy. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Who's that?
Wendy.
Okay, Wendy, thank you. Okay, Dawn,
Jerry Abrahams,
Aye.
Cindy Butts,
Yes.
Commissioner Dom, Commissioner, I'll come back. Wendy Clark,
Yes.
Phil DeFranco,
Yes.
Heidi DeWeingart,
Aye.
Kylie Gosselin,
Aye.
Undersecretary Gualtieri,
I'll abstain on this one.
Tim Hodges,
Aye.
Catherine McKinnon,
Aye.
Commissioner Perez, Franklin Perry, Sarah Sanders,
Aye.
Lisa Tepper Bates,
Yes.
Greg Ugalde,
Yes.
Commissioner Dahm, all right, the vote passes with one abstention.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
The only other item on our agenda is the consent agenda. And assuming that there's no questions or comments, I need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Moved. It's
Motion
Tim.
to approve?
Thank you. I guess all in favor? Aye.
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 All right, thank you. I guess the fastest board meeting on record.
Can I just ask,
Sure,
I'd like to hear when board members are coming on or leaving, and I
me
just heard we
too.
have a new board member, Claudio. I'd like to welcome him and maybe hear a little bit about him. And then Kylie, I'm sad to hear you're going. So if there's any, can we just take a moment to say hello and goodbye?
I think that would be great. I think Nandini maybe would hopefully have handled
Yeah.
that. Hazim, maybe you're stepping in, so can you
Sure.
introduce, please?
Yeah, so we do have the undersecretary representing the Secretary Beckham here with us. So
Yeah, and I can say a few words of introduction if time
That's
permits.
great.
And Sarah, thank you for giving me the opportunity. I'm really excited to be joining this board and doing some more work around housing piece in my portfolio. As my title suggests, I am the head of the department, the division within OPM that does the planning and policy development for Health and Human Services. That covers a wide array, everything from Medicaid and a lot of our state safety net programs at DSS to DPH and the public health interventions that we have. Specifically, the Tobacco and Health Trust Fund resides in my division. We also have primary responsibilities with the Racial Equity and Public Health Commission. So looking at bringing a total holistic view of our healthcare system and the social determinants of health with an attention towards racial inequities that have existed and were manifested through the pandemic. And I'm thrilled. Most of my work up to now has focused on the health and social services side, developmental disabilities and long-term care. And I'm really excited to expand some of my work into the housing space. I've always found this to be a cornerstone issue. If you're not settled in a place that's home, it's hard to have the basics for success all around. So I think the work that you all do is fantastic. And I was thrilled when Secretary Beckham tapped me to sit in for him and be an active participant in this group. So thank you, welcome. I look forward to getting to know each of you a lot more in depth as we move forward.
Great, thank you very much.
Welcome.
I would highly recommend you join the mortgage committee since we're losing one of our mortgage committee members. So Kylie, would you like to say
Yeah.
anything?
Yeah, thank you. So I am, as many of you know, I'm leaving my post as the executive director of the Partnership for Strong Communities after 4.5 years, 4 of which I've spent on this board, which has been a lot of fun for me. I'm really grateful for the opportunity to be here. I'm heading over to run HDF, Housing Development Fund, which most of you know is a CDFI. So Joan Cardy is retiring, so I'll have an overlap with her and then take over the CEO position there in June, July timeframe. So I'm excited for the new opportunity to be working on housing finance from a different angle. And in that new position, I'll be working obviously with an organization that's receiving CHFA funds. And so both because of that and me wanting to avoid conflict of interest issues, but also because the partnership and housing advocates have always had a seat at this table. And I felt it was important that that continued. I submitted my resignation a couple of weeks ago, concurrent with my last day at the partnership, which will be March 2nd. and recommended that the governor select either the new executive director of the partnership or another housing advocate to help serve in this capacity. So I feel like it's an important voice to have, and it's been a real pleasure and honor to be able to serve alongside you all. And sorry with Claudio that we're ships passing in the night. It would have been fun to be on the board with you, but I'm grateful for all of your support and all the wonderful conversation that I've had with all of you and learned so much over the last 4 years. So thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kylie. We appreciate all of your work and your passion for the subjects.
And good luck.
Thanks, Sarah, for mentioning all of that. Is there anybody else? Any other
Any other new-
comments?
I have one.
Sure.
I'm just on a separate legislative question. I don't know if I have the bill number correct, but Bill 1084. Is that in place to permanently? It seems like it has a time to own aspect to it, and it's a rehabilitation piece, and I just would see if somebody could speak to that.
Jump
this-
in.
Yeah, this is the one that just came out last night, right?
Yeah, it just came out last night.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we're digesting it. We are going to have an internal discussion along with DOH before we can, formally comment on the bill.
Okay, it wasn't something we put in.
Some of the things is totally out of our control.
Okay. And then my other question was, and I know this is simplistic in my questioning of this, but if it's a forgivable loan and we go for the bond, then that bond's not repaid because, so who ultimately is the taxpayers are responsible for that, correct?
Correct.
Or if somebody refinances and pays off a portion of that principal, that would go towards the bond repayment.
Correct. It all comes down to how, and then this is more for Sarah to answer. But generally speaking, depending to whether it was issued as a tax exempt or taxable, there will be certain rules that you have to follow. So generally, the state, they issue public purpose bonds, and for us, we issue a private activity bond. So yeah, it all comes down to that.
Okay.
Since we are talking about Phil, you're done.
Yes, I am. Yes.
Okay, thank you. So since we were talking about the incoming and outgoing board member, I also would like to recognize Sarah Sanders in her new position as deputy treasurer and her continued ability to participate, knowing that with the new position, she's going to be more busy than before.
Thank you, Hazim.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's an honor.
Okay. Anybody else? Any other? Okay. All right. If there's no other comments, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
And second.
Second.
Okay, all adjourned.
Bye all.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Good luck, Kylie.
Thank you.